Hello, welcome to JIBRIN ANGLE on Oweleke TV. My name is JIBRIN, and this is my angle. Barrister, um, let's talk about Kemi Badenoch. Again, the last monologue I did about Badenoch, I promised that that was the end of. I will not mention her. I won't talk about her anymore. But unfortunately, she just she came out with another bombshell that I just can't. For those of you who know me, I'm a promise keeper. I always keep to my promise. But please, unfortunately, I'm tempted not to. I don't think I just at this point we really need to speak up. Barrister, let me read what she said. I think I'll play the video as well. Not okay, I'll play the video, but just let's see. Let me read part of what she said. I think she responded to our vice president. Our vice president said, so why is she there if she's denying us, if she's denying Nigeria, denying us, or whatever? So let her change her name from Kemi. Let her drop that name and take another name. Sort of. So and so she responded and she fired back and says Kemi Badenoch, the leader of the United Kingdom's Conservative Party, has stated that she identifies more with her Yoruba heritage than with Nigeria as a whole. In an interview with Spectator, Badenoch expressed that she feels little connection to northern Nigeria, which she described as a heaven for Islamic and Boko Haram. So, if Islamism and Boko Haram. I find it, I quote, she says, I find it interesting that everybody defines me as being Nigerian. I identify less with the country than with the specific ethnicity, Yoruba, she remarked. I have nothing in common with the people from the north of the country. The Boko Haram, the Boko Haram where Islamism is, she added. Her comments have drawn significant backlash from many Nigerians, including high-profile figures. Among her critics is Nigeria's Vice President Kashim Shettima, who recently told Badenoch she could change her name if she wished to disassociate from Nigeria, calling it the greatest black nation on earth. Despite the criticism, Badenoch has doubled down on her stance, asserting that her true identity lies in Yoruba roots. She added, somebody once told me when I was very young that my surname was a name for people who were warriors. They protected the crown, and that's what I see myself as doing. She further emphasized, I am here to protect and will die protecting this country because I know what's out here, what's out there. Meanwhile, Sarah reporters earlier reported that Vice President Kashim Shettima accused Kemi of disparaging her country of origin, Nigeria. Anyway, that is it. Then that and what she just talked about. I think this. I don't know why. First, anyway, let me hear from you. What is your thought on that? Where she disparaged Nigerian police, and now that she is actually fanning the ember of division by bringing this ethnic bigotry into this, because that's the way I consider it.
Well, I think the woman has gone overboard. If she insists that she's her nation is Yoruba, what is she doing in Britain? Bring the leader of the opposition party in a country that is not Yoruba. So some of these things don't, some of these sentences and some of these statements don't make much sense. Nigeria is a country of many tribes, many ethnic nationalities. We all come from a particular ethnic nationality. But in the context of world affairs, we belong to one country, recognized under the United Nations Charter, under the African Union Charter, and by the whole sense of the word. There's no ethnic nationality in Nigeria that is a country of itself. So the fact that you belong to one ethnic nationality in Nigeria does not mean that you are not a Nigerian. It's the aggregate of the ethnic nationalities in Nigeria that in this geographical entity that is called Nigeria. If you remove the ethnic nationalities, where you now derive the term Nigeria? There's no term Nigeria. So she, I believe, is another case of an extreme case of Dr. Kamuzu Banda. I don't even know if you remember him.
No.
The person we used to say he is more British than the British. Dr. Kamuzu Banda was the president of Malawi. He studied medicine in the UK and eventually came back to his country. He used to dress in the hot African sun. He used to dress with a suit, a bowler hat, and an umbrella with a walking dog to match anywhere he went in Malawi. So he came to be called the man who was more British than the British. And he was taking tea and the British food, British menu in Malawi. So he came to be called the man who was more British than the British. This Kemi Badenoch is even more, from what he has been saying, is even more extreme than the Kamuzu Bada that we know. It does not make sense. We know that she is aspiring for leadership of the UK. Good and fine. Does that mean that you will now disparage and cast aspersion on his country of origin? It does not do him any good. Maybe she is feeling that if she does not distance herself from Nigeria, these people will not accept her or accept her to become the leader of Britain. I don't think that will go. She has gone overboard. She has become extreme in her views. Nigeria is not the ideal country that we all want it to be. But it is our responsibility to make it into the ideal country that she has run to. It is the responsibility of every Nigerian, whether in Nigeria or abroad, to work to make this place as good as where she wants to lead, as good as the Britain that she wants to. People sweated to make Britain what it is. They did not abandon Britain. If the British people abandon Britain, it would not be the country that she has run to, that she is aspiring to rule today, and then casting aspersion. A lot of Nigerians have left the shores of Nigeria. They have not forgotten that. You are in US, but you take interest in Nigeria. You try to do what you can for the betterment of your country. That is how it is. Anything outside that becomes a trait of bad character in a person. So I think we should look at it from that and stop giving her the unwarranted publicity that she is getting. I think we should just ignore her. She's one person out of 200 and something.
Honestly, the unwarranted publicity. She's the one actually. I think that I don't know. Probably she's a publicity freak. I don't know why she has decided to do this because, to me, this is not. This is childish. Very, very childish. Honestly, it is childish. In fact, I respected her for actually getting to that position because, my God, for you to become the first, probably the first African, actually, some person of African origin, Nigeria to be precise, to actually head the Conservative Party in the UK, man, that's a very part. For her to get to that point, that means she really worked her ass actually to do that. So I respect her for that, but I'm beginning to question how she actually got there because with such kind of mentality, where you just disparage your roots, your origin, I don't know. What do you expect? Because let me tell you one thing. Every smart human being will always not take you seriously behind the scene. Because when you criticize criticize, when you exhibit an act of disloyalty to someone else, because you will do it the same thing when situation when a situation when a situation changes, a sort of, you will do the same thing against to him or her when situation changes. So I don't understand why she's doing. Honestly, I doubt if that will generate respect. Well, that will actually attract more respect from the from the British citizens. Honestly, I don't see that. That will rather actually pull her image down, because no smart person will want to associate himself or herself with someone that is disloyal, because everyone, the world knows, the British, even the corruption we are talking about, is it not the who actually sold this corruption to us? It is the Britain. It is the British that sold this corruption to us. They laid the foundation for this corruption that is happening in Nigeria right now. And now she's in their courts now, disparaging her roots, where she actually came from. I don't understand. She's so full of herself. The thing has become so childish and so puff. She has become so proud and so puffy. She seemed to be her position has gotten over her head and beclouded her sense of reasoning. You wanted to say something?
You see, Britain is evolving. The immediate past Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is of Indian origin. He has never disparaged his
That's the point.
ancestry origin as an Indian. And still he was elected the Prime Minister. So for her to be doing this, it's difficult to understand the psychological upbringing and trauma she may have faced. But it is not justified in any.
She said it now. What are those special things that nobody in Nigeria has passed through?
The kind of things she has made does not compare to I told you of a woman who came with her husband and children and was kidnapped and raped in front of her children and her husband repeatedly for so many days. She came from UK. And she went. So this woman has not suffered 1/5 of what other people have gone through. And all the complaints she has made are just peripheral. They are not serious compared to what people are going through in Nigeria. So I do not, just like I said, Rishi Sunak has been Prime Minister of Britain. He did not abandon or disparage his Indian origin. It's well known. Britain is evolving. So the way you get to that power has nothing to do with where you come from.
And the worst part is that now you are even fanning the ember of discord in Nigeria. You are not only denying Nigeria, you are not only disowning your country, your origin. You even you are trying to light up fire of ethnicity. For God's sake. And I'm so glad that people didn't, even the criticism, people didn't criticize the Yoruba ethnic group as against the person who actually said what she said. Well, that's the way we should actually judge things. If it were an Igbo man now or Igbo lady that did that now, that did this same thing, that said such thing, honestly, they will not attack the Igbo lady. What they would do, what other part of Nigeria could have done was they could have attacked the entire Igbo race. But in this case, which is rightfully so, this is this is the way we are supposed to judge. We attack the individuals. Whoever made something, don't use one brush to paint everyone. That is the exact thing. And I just hope that we'll just keep it that way. Otherwise, if we want to do it the other way, everybody would have just attacked the Yoruba race. Yeah? As against the personality that made this provocation.
The first person to come out to criticize her was Abike Dabiri, who is also Yoruba.
Yoruba, yes.
So
Honestly,
you
so
can see that the focus, people have realized that she is the problem, not a tribe, not an
yeah,
ethnic
I'm glad
nationality.
people know people understand it
Personally,
that way.
she is the problem in her own person.
Honestly,
So there's no attachment, there's no criticism of a tribe or ethnic nationality.
I don't even understand why she's just again, honestly, that will not attract more respect from the British government, because the truth is, they will just be behind the scene. They will just be laughing at her. I hope she understands that. They'll just be laughing at, because she's becoming childish this time around. Nobody, for God's sake. We have even the US. We have people who have ruled this country from different. Obama ruled this country from Africa. He never denied Africa. Huh? So what the hell? Why is our own different? Is Kenya not corrupt? Yet Obama associated himself with Kenya and
The
traveled to the country.
official visit to Kenya as the
Official visit to
president
Kenya,
of
whatever.
US,
Yet Kenya is corrupt.
acknowledgement of his roots, in acknowledgement of his roots, went to his own village.
Honestly, I am so disappointed that excuse me. I expected someone. I don't know how she's a contradiction to herself, because she's a conservative. For her to even head the conservative party, it means she's a conservative. If she's a conservative member with conservative ideas, I don't understand why a conservative. What is conservatism? Conservatism is is sticking to the tradition, sticking to your roots, sticking to the old way of doing things, holding on to that is refusing, or probably refusing to evolve. You just want to stick to the old ways of doing things. That is a layman's definition of conservatism. I don't understand why she's a conservative person in policy, in politics, yet she's not. It is a contradiction. She's a contradiction to herself, honestly, as far as I'm concerned, because you cannot be a conservative a person by politics, and in idea you are not. You are a liberal, because only a liberal person, liberal minded person does and says what she does and says. This is just it is just unbelievable. It is just unbelievable. That lady is just.
Her case is actually unfortunate, and she is to be pitied more than criticized. I think she is to be pitied more than criticized. I actually pity her.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, because this whole thing is becoming childish. She's just being childish, honestly. I didn't even know she's a mother. That means she's married. I didn't know she's married. Not to talk of having 3 kids. I was just.
I think she's married to an Irish. She's married to an Irish person.
That girl is a lunatic, honestly. That woman, she's just a lunatic, unfortunately.